Welcome to the ROCK's online worship experience. You are getting ready to experience God on another level. Whatever you're seeking from God for your life is available for you as you praise, hear the word, and transform your situation. While you're worshiping with us online, feel free to interact with our online ministers in the chat and share this broadcast with your family and friends so they can join you online. Also, make sure you subscribe to Dana Carson on YouTube and follow the Reflections of Christ's Kingdom on Facebook and Instagram to stay connected to all the ROCK is doing. Now, shake off the worries and the stress of the week and get ready to give God praise. Service will begin soon.
Worship, then, is a reflection of God. You say, I'm worshiping. I came to worship today. A lot of times people think, well, worship is singing slow songs. That's slow praise. Oh, I'm a worshiper. I like to worship. I don't like all that old fast stuff. That's emotionalism. I like deep worship. You know, worship, being a worshiper is who you are in totality. I belong to God. I'm reflecting God. Everything that I do in my spiritual life, I become a worshiper of God when I deny myself. See, because I can't worship me and God simultaneously. Jesus said, if any man desire to come after me, let him first, what? Deny himself. Now listen, we're so much not a worshiper. We get upset on a Sunday. We don't go to church because we're having a bad day. On the day of corporate worship. When the body is coming together as a community, you don't come because you're having a bad hair day, you can't find the right shoes, so-and-so's running late, or you just got a bad call. See, when you worship God, you deny you. Because either you're going to reflect your narcissistic self, or you're going to reflect God. Now, either your life is going to be a life after your desires, or your life is going to be a life after God's desire. So you have to understand, you're not born for pleasure, you're born for a purpose. You're not born for pleasure, but for purpose. You're on purpose, not pleasure. See, there are some people, that's all life is about. It's about feeling good, finding all the ways to make myself feel good. And it doesn't matter about values, it doesn't matter about limitations, borders, none of that matters, restrictions. But you can't be a worshiper of God without restrictions. What are your restrictions? What is it that God can tell you not to do and you don't do? What are your restrictions? Where are your borders? Now, when I think about the Genesis narrative, I define worship as, worship is to see after the matters of another. It is to ensure the desires and the wishes of the one in whom you worship is executed. So if I'm a worshiper of God, I live to make sure that what he wants done gets done. You know, and it's not worship, it's just a hired servant You go to work, they pay you to get done what they want to get done. And they check you, have evaluations, they have supervisors, everything. They make sure you get done what they want to get done. Well, it's the same thing here now when you're talking about worshiping God. How can you say I worship God, which means I'm going to get done what he needs to get done because I worship him. And you say, but I don't know what he wants to get done. How can you reflect what you cannot read? Thus, when we look at this text, it unpacks some other nuances that provides us insights about worship fit for a king. When we consider what is implied in the text as it relates to worship, to reflect God, let him reflect us, there are some hidden terms that are involved in worship, such as admiration and adoration, affirmation and adaptation, accountability and dependability. When we worship God, our worship must be defined by one, admiration and adoration. You must love and like God. So the greatest commandment is what? You love God with all your heart, your mind, your soul, and your strength, and your neighbor as yourself. So you can't worship God if you love you more than you love God. See, what was Adam doing before God created him? He didn't have nothing to do. It was non-existent. So, God created Adam to reflect him. Now, worship then, when you look at he who created you, there should be this sense of admiration, adoration. There ought to be this sense of awe, wonder. But it ought to be this also, I just adore you. Have you ever seen how children look at their parents? The right set of parents. Have you ever seen your child and all of that admiration? When the kids are little, they go put on your shoes. Dana used to put on my shoes. They used to put on, they just want to, they want to be like dad. Or they want to be like mom. There's this sense of admiration. Listen, how can you love a God who gets on your nerve? I'm saying, how can you worship a God and all of his rules are inhibited to you? Here he come again. What can I do this week? So, a worshiper obeys the will of God out of their hearts, not out of fear. So when I worship a person, if a person says to me, don't go over that rail, then that's all I need to know. And then they really help me if they say, oh, you will surely die. Now, if I love them, I worship them, I admire them, I'm going to tell everybody, hey, don't go over there. Don't go over there. Why? See, because I start to advocate for the one I love. So you have to love God and like God. How many of you love God? Do you really love God? God said, how can you say you love me and do not do the things that I ask you to do? Then here's another thing I want to point out here is when you worship God, you have a need of affirmation and adaptation. Now, what do you mean then? Well, if I worship you, I want to hear you tell me, well done. If it doesn't matter to you how God feels about how you're living, what you're doing, if that really doesn't matter to you, that means a healer being, don't matter how God feels about it, then you don't worship God. See, because a true worshiper wants to hear God say, well done, my good and faithful servant. At the end of days, I want God to say to me, well done. You did what I created you to do. You lived the work that I predetermined for you. You executed. And a worshiper is living to hear those words. A worshiper doesn't die and disappointed that they died. How could you do this to me? How could you bring me home with you? How could you do this? I was at the prime of my life. Things were going very well. I was just about to get a new house, and he was just about to ask me, will you marry me? And then you just pop me up here. Can you just pop me back? No, I'm saying, man. I've never seen so many people that say they worship God and hate death. When the Bible says to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. I've never seen so many people say, Lord, I want to be with you, and then ain't talking to God for 2-3 years because they took somebody home. A worshiper? Are you a worshiper or a user? Do you want God for what God can do, or do you love God for who God is? I'm going to stop with this last point. Accountability and dependability. You must be there. When God calls for you, you must be there. So when you look at the story, God puts them in the Garden of Eden. He places them there. And then he says to him, you to tend and to keep. I'll deal with that next week, tend and to keep. And he said, you can freely eat of every tree in the garden. God says, as long as you worship me, I will take care of your provisions. He says, worship me, follow the borders, the parameters, and I'll take care of your life. Well, things were going well for Adam and Eve. They were eating every night, every day. They were taken care of. But they violated the parameter. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you cannot eat or you will surely die. So here, God says, you stop being a worshiper when you start relying on your own subjectivity of what's right and what's wrong. Your subjective values are what governs your life. If God says, don't touch that, I don't care how much time evolves, you don't touch that. You don't say things like, you know, we've been looking at this old dumb tree all these years, you know, it wasn't in time yet, but we've been just looking at this and the tree and look at it, it look good. Satan now. Satan always tries to influence you to have an appetite for what he knows is going to destroy you. And then he always promises you, once you compromise your values, once you compromise your morals, once you compromise your decision, he then tells you, you're going to be like God. Deciding for yourself. He says, listen, I'm recruiting now for the Luciferian club. Listen, my club is about giving light. My club is about giving rights. We don't restrict anything. We tell you you can do whatever you want to do. Make up your own decision. You can be God if you want to be. Matter of fact, if you eat that, you'll be like him. Don't need no man, Eve. That's the first attack against the preacher. Eve, you don't need no man. That man lying to you, girl. God didn't really say that. Y'all sit up there listening to that man. You got all this opportunity to take advantage of all this, and because that man said to you, that's not God's will. And you see all the opportunity, you sucker, sucker, sucker. You gonna pass all that by? Child, look at that man. That man got muscles. He got a good job. And he good looking. And you're not gonna go out with him because he don't go to church? Are you crazy? Do you know how many women would die to get in that Ferrari? Are you crazy? What is wrong? What has that man done to you? Are you that brainwashed? You just gonna, girl, look, he wants some, give him some. Take the pill, take the day after pill. Girl, do you know what you could have if you let that in your, man, these restrictions are minimizing your maximization for your magic moment in time and space. How you know God didn't send him? Because he wants you to save him. I'm just saying. Adam may have misinterpreted the scriptures. Worship, the thing that made them worshipers, where they relied on the knowledge of good and evil from God. But the moment you're making all of your own decisions based on what you think, you are now being persuaded by the rogue god Satan. No. He can't be saying that. Did God really say that? Well, Adam said he did. So let's look at it. Okay. So Adam said, one, your name is helper. Said, well, listen, I ain't trying to get in your business. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Where your mama, child? Where your mama? Where your mama? Where your mama? Ask her, did she name you helper? That's all I'm saying. Now. So Adam said that you the helper, right? Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said. God said. Okay, so God called you the helper. Sound too close to helper to me. Listen, so now, then he says, okay. Then, did Adam say he's supposed to rule over you? That's what he said, God said. So he's supposed to tell you what to do. Well, I guess it's something like that. He's supposed to tell me what God tells him. And whatever God tells him, you're supposed to do. Oh. You're a smart helper. So look. Let me tell you the truth. Then I'm going to go on by my long head. Because I've been crawling around here too long. Listen, let me just say it like this. Little snake, you know, let me say it like this. Now, so let me rehearse this and I'm going on. So God said that you cannot eat or you will surely die. She said, not only that, he said we can't touch. He said what? He said we can't touch. So that's what happens when you start getting in illegal conversations. You get the facts twisted up. Then you misquote scripture and everything else. And so now God never told them they couldn't touch it. But to touch it is to put more temptation on you. But there's no consequence for touching. So he says, well, listen, can you at least touch it so I can show you? Just touch it. Go touch it. Just touch it. Touch it. Go out with it. Don't tell nobody you're going. You put your phone on silent. Tell them you were sick that night. God didn't say nothing about no unequally yoked. Don't you know there ain't enough men for everybody, child? Touch it. Touch it. Touch it. So she touched that fruit and nothing happen. Because the consequence was not attached to touching. It was attached to eating. And once she ate, immediately something happened to her. Immediately. Because the text says, and I gotta go, and the text says, she ate, and then she gave it to him and said, eat. Before that moment, she never told him anything to do. But soon as she ate it says, and she gave it to him and said, eat. She said, there's a new pants wear in this relationship. Yeah, I'm not the helper no more. See, that's what Satan wants you to do. See, God already knew you were a mess, a disaster project, that he was going to make a master project. He knew they were naked and wasn't no problem. They were not ashamed. But then once they got in their own heads, then they were naked and ashamed. They started seeing things differently. See, when you worship God, you see through the lens of God. When you don't worship God, you see through the lens of Satan. That's the reason when you say, well, I don't read my Bible, I don't have time, I don't know the scriptures. Well, if you don't know the scriptures, you don't know God. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And the Word became flesh and manifested. So, here you go. He dwelt among us, the Word. The written Word was the physical Word. You cannot worship God without this.
Thank you for worshiping with us today. If you are in need of prayer or someone to talk to, our online ministers are available just for you right now in the chat. We invite you to join us again for one of our powerful worship experiences that happen every week. Sundays at 8 a.m. for our worship experience at our Alvin campus. 10 a.m. is the Extraordinary worship encounter at the R.O.C.K Cathedral at our Broadway campus. Then Sundays at 6 p.m. on our Edgebrook campus is our Miracles, Signs, and Wonders service, where you can receive the miracle and breakthrough you've been looking for. You can also join us during the week on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. at our Edgebrook campus, where we are understanding the Bible with Dr. Dana Carson, and you get your biblical questions answered. We look forward to connecting with you. We ask that you subscribe to Dana Carson on YouTube and follow the Reflections of Christ's Kingdom on Facebook and Instagram to stay connected to all the R.O.C.K is doing. You can also get connected with us on our website, therockwoi.com. Again, thank you for worshiping with us. Be blessed.